Growing up, I used to believe that life is about checking boxes. Degrees, check. Success, check. Love, check. Approval, check. But somewhere along the way, I came to realize that life is actually about alignment. Life is actually about healing. Life is actually about me becoming the woman I was always meant to be. I mean, these books didn't just shift my mindset, they cracked me wide open. They showed me the woman that I am beneath all the noise. And today I want to share these 7 books with you, not as a book list, but as signpost on this very spiritual, very emotional, and very real journey of becoming. And the first book that I'm going to start with is The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. This is actually the book that hit me the hardest. It talks about self-sabotage, and Brianna explains self-sabotage as actually a trauma response. It's a trauma reaction. It's not you actively trying to ruin your life. It's your mind, your brain, which is trying and actually failing to protect you. So this book dives into why we hold ourselves back and what we can actually do to break free from this, which is why I highly recommend this book, because sometimes in life we come across difficult situations that challenge us to get out of our comfort zone, to break free of habits that aren't actually serving us, but instead of stepping into this growth, we tend to fall back into old habits. I have come to realize that I am actually the mountain that has been standing on my way. I am the one who has been holding myself back all this time. It's not the government, it's not the education system, it's not the society, it's not my parents, it's actually me. Hello, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. And this book has helped me realize all that, and it has helped me cope with this and given me the steps that I need so that I can break out of this cycle. And this is what I want to help you with today. This book has helped me take responsibility of my actions and face the resistance head on. Actions like procrastination, talking negatively about yourself, giving yourself stupid excuses as to why you can't do things. These are the things that are holding you back, and they are born out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of success. This is the mountain that is holding you back. These things that are in your mind telling you that you can't do this, you can't achieve this because of this and this reason. That is the mountain that is holding you back. So throughout this book, Wiest offers practical steps on how you can overcome these barriers. And don't worry if you can't read the whole book, I have some notes for you and some few pointers for you, and the link will be in the description below, so make sure that you check that out. You need to stop giving excuses about your life. You are the master and creator of your own destiny, so it's time for you to start actually manifesting the kind of life that you want. And Brianna speaks about this in the book. So if you're intentional on your journey of becoming, I highly suggest that you read this book. It's going to be very inspirational, it's going to be very eye-opening, and I actually recommend that you read it. But if you can't read, I have some short notes in my description, so make sure that you tap the link to see, because I've also highlighted the steps that you need to take, practical steps for you to level up this mountain and become your best self. The second book that I'm going to talk about is Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. This book is actually what it says it is. It is a guide to healing the feminine body, mind, and spirit. It seeks to explore the connection between the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual health of a woman. Queen Afua talks of practices, cultural practices that can help a woman to regain back her feminine energy. This book is for the woman who is out of tune with her body and wants to get back in tune again. She offers practical solutions which are based on culture most of the times. So she introduces practices, she introduces recipes, she introduces womb rejuvenating techniques, things that you can actually do to rejuvenate your womb and make yourself healthy again. She also provides daily spiritual things that you should observe, like taking a bath, prayers, meditation. All these things are in this book. So this book gets you together in an organic and natural way. And if you actually want the notes, they're linked in the description below, so make sure to check that out. So the third book that actually got me together and has actually helped me change my life until now is a memoir by Glennon Doyle. This is a book about personal growth, mental health, activism, addiction, and all that. So Untamed is a book that tells us to let go of those things that we find not attractive, those things that we think are holding us back, to let them go and to truly live authentically in our true self. This book also challenges you to, look at parts of yourself that you never thought you'd look at. At the start of the book, she recounts some embarrassing things that you feel secondhand embarrassment just by reading them, but it helps you reflect back on your life and look at things that you actually don't want revealing, or things that you don't want people knowing, and without realizing it, these things are holding you back. There are things that you actually need to let go so that you can become your true self. These are things that you actually need to face so that you can get out of your comfort zone. This is what it truly means to be untamed. To break free of societal restrictions, to break free of things that you've been told that you can't do, that you're not supposed to do. She talks about addiction, she talks about love, she talks about activism, things that the society has tried to, tell us that they're bad, things that you have been restricted from doing. So Glennon talks about these things like it's actually regaining back your power, regaining back your voice. Nobody cares, so you need to live your life as authentic as you can. You need to live your life as free as you can and be untamed. Because the longer you're tamed, the longer you try to, pretend that you're docile, you don't know anything, you're naive. The universe is just going to trample on you and you're just going to remain there. The world is for those who grab on it. The world belongs to those who want to grab on it with both hands. So if you just sit it there, then the world is just going to pass you by. You need to have that voice. You need to have that grit. After everything that you want, this is what it means to be truly untamed. The fourth book, which I'm going to talk about, which is actually not a book, it's a collection of essays by Tarana, Burke, and Dr. Brené Brown, which is it's a collection of essays by Black creatives, and I'll admit that reading this, I cried, because it's the truth and it hits deep. And just thinking about the trauma, generation trauma that you've had to carry, and us not being allowed to talk about it because it makes others uncomfortable. It just makes me feel like this is why we are not progressing as people, as individuals, because we have so much holding us back. Things that we know, things that we don't know. These essays, they talk about shame and vulnerability, especially in the Black culture, because growing up, I was told that, oh, you can't cry in front of people. Even as a lady, I'm not supposed to cry in front of people because that shows that something is wrong, and you can't show that something is wrong. You're not supposed to show that something is wrong, you know. So this is why even when bad things happen to us, we tend to hold it in, because you can't sleep. You can't show them that you're weak. You can't show them that this is hurting, because you believed the world is not supposed to see you weak. The world is not supposed to see you quiver. It's not supposed to see you break down. You need to be strong at all times. This is the kind of trauma, kind of shame that you've allowed to root in our African culture, because black doesn't crack, they say. I came across these essays while doing my research for school, I was reading Toni Morrison's Beloved, and a collection was recommended to me, and I was like, why not read it? Why not read it? Because, and I'll admit, it's not an easy read. This is not something that you just pick and read like a fictional tale. You need a pen, you need a notebook, you need to write these things down, because these are things that are so evident in our culture, but we are so determined to just step on them and pretend as if they don't exist. And the see something, do something, see something, say something culture, it's been sort of erased. Right now it's every man for himself and God for us all. Because if you look at the things that are happening in our countries, in our continents, in our worlds, in our families, where is the fear of God? Where is the love for thy neighbor? Only way we can actually break from this generational trauma is by actually talking about it. Talk about our experiences as a culture. Talk about our experiences as individuals. Talk about experiences as a whole race. Talk about your experiences. This is the only way that you can actually let go. This is the only way we can actually break free of these cycles. Because when we understand that grief doesn't just go, by silencing it doesn't just go, it doesn't just disappear, it just piles on. So you need to talk about it so that you can let it go. And in Toni Morrison's Beloved, I need to get back to it. In Toni Morrison's Beloved, she talks of rememory. Trauma that is so ingrained into your memory, you just keep on seeing it, thinking about it, even when your conscious mind is trying to unblock it. The unconscious still thinks about it. It still recounts the events. This is what you're going through as a generation, and we don't even know it. So by reading this, it says we become aware and we develop actual practical steps on how we can deal with this as an individual, as a community, as a family, everything. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. This is a book for the woman who feels like she has more to give to the world. The book talks of light, that everyone has a light in their soul and that they need to let it out for the world to see. And Rebecca, in her book, she recalls when she was young, she had a calling. She had a calling to be someone bigger, someone brighter, someone better than she was. But because there was no one to guide her, no one to show her the path to take, she dimmed that light so that she could be acceptable to the society around her. But in her 30s, as she grew, she says that the world crumbled on her feet. Everything she had built crumbled, and it's like the world had turned off its light on her. So she had to discover a way to turn on the light inside of her. So this is what the book calls us to do, because the world doesn't need us to play small. The world needs us to be bigger than who we are, so that we can take on the challenges that are being presented before us. So this book has been written with the intention of not only showing you your soul signs, but giving you a way on how to act on these signs. The next book is All About Love by Bell Hooks. This book has torn every idea that I had of love, torn them down, and I'm here for it. It has shown me what love is in relation to family, in relation to community, in relation to commitment, childhood, spirituality, all these things. This book reminds us that love is not just a feeling, love is a connection. Love is as love does. And it seems rather obvious, but when Hooks explains to you that love is actually about showing someone that you love them, not just expecting them to know that you love them, you'll sit back and reflect on the kind of love that you've been giving others, the kind of how you've been showing up in love for others and for yourself, because love is an action. It's not a feeling, it's not just a word. It's an action, it's a verb. You need to do something for you to actually show that you love someone, not just by saying it. In the book, she also asks a lot of questions. Why this love that we treasure so much, why is it frowned upon in the world? Why do we self-isolate when, we have problems? Because she says that self-love does not flourish in isolation. This book has made me feel broken, it's made me feel whole, it's made me feel bruised, it's made me feel loved, it's made me feel so many things. And it says, to love is to live, and to live is to love. To know love is to know joy, and to be present in the face of it is something that we should be so thankful for. This is actually a book that I actually reach for, especially when I'm sad, when I need to be comforted, when I need to be reminded that I am loved, that I am love itself, and that love is a choice, and we choose love every moment that we wake up. Whether we know it or we don't, we choose love every day. Last but not least, I am going to talk about a book by Clarissa, Estés, The Women Who Run with the Wolves. This book talks of the different women archetypes, and Estés has presented these archetypes in form of stories, different stories from different cultures. And in the first story, she talks of a young girl who, instead of listening to her intuition, she decided to marry a man, only later to come and realize that this man was a killer. So it talks about the different archetypes that as women we have been put into, the different boxes that you've been put to. As a woman, we are thought of as a healer, a fixer, a teacher, the whole, Virgin Mary archetype, the whole Mother Teresa archetype, all these things. These are things that women, we feel like we need to check ourselves into one of these boxes. She talks of overriding your intuition, especially as a woman, because the society has deemed us emotional, irrational, and that our instincts cannot be trusted simply because they come from a place where the knowledge of our intuition is something that men cannot understand. So because they cannot understand it, they find fault in it. Because it's simply different. The way women think and the men think, it's totally different. And because they can't understand why we think the way we think, they find fault in our intuition, in our instincts, in everything that we do. But Estes says that the best thing that you can do as a woman is to follow your instinct. You're not less of a human being just because you're a woman. Your womanliness is a superpower, and you should embody it, you should welcome it. Because so many times we have been told that we need to be less, we need to occupy less space so that we can fit in, so that we can be accepted. But I'm here to tell you today that it is okay to break out of those spaces. It is okay to be the person that you're meant to be. It is okay to be that person that you think in your mind that you are. You are capable of doing anything and everything without hiding behind the veil of womanliness. Because a woman is meek, so I am going to do these meek jobs because they're meant for women. No. Break free of that archetype. You are not what people say you are. You are who you say you are, who you believe you are. If your intuition, if your mind tells you that you can fly, girl, you better believe you can fly. You do not need to hide who you are so that you can be respected. You don't need to shut up so that people can listen to you. You don't need to speak less so that people can hear you. Shout. Demand everything. Howl like the wolves if you can to get everything that you want. Demand everything. Do not be soft just because they say that women can be soft. It's good to be soft, but does being soft get you where you want to be? Does being soft get you what you want? If it does, well and good. But if it can't get you what you want, you have claws. Use them. You have a mouth. Howl to the moon. Let everyone hear you. Let them say how difficult you are to handle. Do not become less of yourself to make others shine. No. As a woman, you're meant to shine bright. So take up space. Thrive in your femininity. So you don't have to read all these books. I read them at different moments in my life, and I actually found them when I needed them most. So you don't have to read all the books. You can just pick those books that resonate with you, that resonate with your soul, and you can just read them. Or you can just check out the link in my description below to look at the short points. Nobody's going to judge you. Definitely not me. So that's all I have for you today, guys. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you like. Make sure that you comment. Bye.